The response to COVID-19's deadly spread has tested governors and other elected officials over the past year and a half more than nearly any other major challenge. Adam Sullivan is an opinion columnist for the Cedar Rapids Gazette. He says he's a Republican with some libertarian leanings, and COVID-19 is bringing out some strong opinions from all over the place.
I felt pretty alienated from both sides. I know some of the really far right-wing people who, are resistant to the vaccine, or who don't think that any of the precautions make any sense. I think that that's way out of line. And at the same time, there's folks on the left who want to do perpetual lockdown and are really not doing a good job at balancing risks. And so the whole thing has been extremely frustrating for me. And I think what you've seen in Iowa is that folks have just dug their heels in. The governor repeatedly gets asked the same line of questions by journalists, and understandably so. People are concerned about the lack of restrictions, and that just forces the governor to dig her heels in. And it's not really an issue where she or legislative Republicans who have all the control in state government have really been willing to compromise on.
I've heard you talk in the past about sometimes it can be surprising, frankly, that people from different walks of life, politically speaking, are not always as far apart as they may have thought until they start talking to somebody else. Elaborate on that a little bit. What do you mean by that?
I think the important condition for that is when you meet people in real life, or they're people that you work with or have a one-on-one relationship, it's really easy to see them as fellow people. It's really when we use social media, when we write letters to the editor, even that we get in the newspaper, when people are just a faceless opponent. When your state representative or your congressman is not somebody you know or have a personal relationship, then it's really easy to think they're an evil person or a bad guy. And I think that cuts both ways. But when you're in your community, when people you interact with, you disagree with all the time, and maybe in the last few years, some of that has started to trickle into personal relationships more, where people really can't stand to be around people who they think believe wacky stuff. But I think if you're talking to somebody one-on-one, I think we're all Iowans at the end of the day, and we have more in common than we don't.
But don't you think working against that, though, is that we're seeing so many of these races and political offices being nationalized and influenced by what's going on 24-hour cable and social media, and that's kind of pushed their way in the way people talk?
Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing that for local elections, state legislature. They used to say that all politics is local. Really now all politics is national, where you have, county parties basically coordinating with school board candidates. So you have a Democratic slate of school board candidates. I think that's pretty unhealthy. But I would also reiterate, even people who run for school board or participate in their local Republican or Democratic parties, those people are still elites in some sense of the word. The vast majority of people don't participate in politics at that level. So it's important for folks like you and me, Dave, to, remember that we're in a bubble to some extent, that we're on, we're reading news, we're talking to newsmakers, we're immersed in social media all day. Most people, most of my family, my close friends, they think that that's all weird, inside baseball stuff.
Most of the perspective is always told from the R versus D, Republican versus Democrat. You have some libertarian leanings. I presume you still identify yourself as an L?
Small L libertarian is what I say. So I'm a Republican. I've always been a member of the Republican Party, but I sympathize with the libertarian philosophy.
So where are libertarians in all of this? Every once in a while we'll see a little surge where you think maybe the libertarians as a party might establish, but then kind of fades away. Is there something there that could be a true force rather than just something that almost becomes an alternative vote?
I don't see a clear path forward for them. It's kind of a joke in the movement that every 5 to 10 years there's a libertarian moment, and it's like this is the real deal this time, guys. We're going to make a splash, but it never materializes. So the Libertarian Party has a lot of its own internal problems. There's a lot of infighting, and frankly, there's some basically social conservative elements, some people who, trade in racism and sexism that have tried to take over parts of the party. So it has its own internal problems, but the bigger structural problems, there's reasons that there probably will never be a successful third party, is that the way our voting system is set up, it lends itself to two parties. And it's been a long time since there's been a reshuffling of the two dominant parties, or one party overtakes and another one goes extinct. So that's been, obviously the Republican Party is the most recent addition to the two-party system. So that seems pretty unlikely. I think what I would like to see is for libertarians or people who have radical political beliefs that don't fit in with the two-party system, to be able to be active in politics without, selling their souls to one part or the other. So if you do have to participate in partisan politics, you don't have to vote for all of those candidates all the time. And you can also find ways to impact policy without parties.
I think most times when people hear the word radical used in a political commercial, usually one of those attack ads or some advertisement of some sort, or just a politician saying that about another person, radical is a bad thing, right? But you're using it, are you using it in a different context?
As far, if you think radicalism is bad, then you must think the status quo is good, right? And so I think that there's a lot of problems with the status quo. I think there's a lot of issues that for a long time we've just taken for granted, and some of those have begun to come to light. And so, no, I use it maybe a little bit flippantly, but I also, it's to me, if I say somebody is radical, I think that means they're thinking outside the box.
He's back for the Insider's Quick Six, but first, the future of Planned Parenthood's mission in Iowa.